Hi, everybody. You are in the Breaking Border introduction to the Spanish market. This is Alejandro Garrido. I'm an agency development manager in the agency department for Spanish market, as you may guess.
And my name is Patricia, and I'm the senior account manager for the Spanish marketing in the agency department too.
So we are here to explain why doing export to Spain and the key factors we may face before doing it. And this is the agenda for today. First of all, we're gonna go through the market insights, economy and non-economy, consumer behavior, and then we're gonna mix a little bit Patricia and I on the consumer behavior, and she's gonna explain the Black Friday and the key ideas to export in Spain as a summary. So this is the agenda. We're gonna start on the market insights, which are first, if we're gonna focus on the economy part, this is the forecast for 2019 and 2020. It's true that it's not gonna be as higher as previous years. The growth is not gonna be that high, but still we're gonna be higher than the rest of the Europe. Way much higher than rest of the European countries, which is a good sign. It's not a crisis, but it's like kind of deceleration. And we're gonna focus on the fourth main factors as employment growth, unemployment rate, inflation, and nominal annual salary. I think the numbers are still good. So it's still a good moment to go to Spain and doing some export in these cases. If we're gonna speak about Spain on doing import from our side, doing export from your side, it's good to have in mind that Spain is one of the most important export countries in Europe, as you may see, not only inside Europe and LATAM, which is maybe the first guesses we have, also about China and the United States. Okay. If we are telling you that export is really important for Spain, what is even more important from that perspective is that the import is even bigger than the export. So the trade deficit in Spain has increased in almost 40% in the last years, which means that even Spain is really important in doing export, is even higher and more receptive in the import part. Most of them are Germany, France, and Asia. And the most deficit country or partner country in doing export to Spain is China, with the deficit between the import and export in China is huge. Okay, so once we've seen more or less the perspective from economy, import, export in Spain, let's focus on who is Spain in terms of internet users. In this case, you can see that we have like almost 47 million people, and the mobile subscriptions are even higher, so which means we use several devices in order to access this internet. The internet usage is almost 93%, which is very high, which is huge. The active social media users, the penetration is almost 60. We're getting there. It's not like very mature country. So we are in numbers of developing countries in terms of internet users, and the mobile social users are a little bit lower than the active social penetration. What about the growth between these key factors? So we keep growing. That means we are not mature with developing our internet access in our country. So that's, I think, is a really good sign and a really good key factor to have in mind when you're gonna do exporting in Spain, which is a really good news, I guess. What about devices? I mentioned before. So it's keep growing. Above all is smartphones and mobile phones, but the laptop and the tablets is still there. So we have to keep that in mind as well. Although the mobile has all the key factor in this place. Okay. What else? The time spent. I think the time spent in Spain is one of the highest in Europe. You have here all the information and the data. In summary, yes, I think Spain is a country where the economy is pretty stable, where the usage of internet and usage for mobile phones is huge and keep increasing. Sorry about that. So once we've seen that, once we have a summary of what about Spain, let's focus on the customer behavior, Spanish customer behavior. So in this case, what we like to, as Spanish people, what we like to do when buying in internet, okay? So I think there's three key factors. One is free shipping. We value a lot the free shipping part, as everybody I think value. The easy return, and the product information and pictures. But the most important thing we value, as we all do, is that more than 50% care about the low price. Okay? And what we do when we go to Google in order to do this shopping, I think Patricia is gonna enlighten us about this part and in deep dive. So I'll let you, Patricia, to go for it.
Sure.
I'm gonna give you the key.
Thanks, Alejandro, for sharing. So basically, it's very different in between countries, the behavior that users have when it comes to go to Google, right? We are very strong in terms of research. What happened about research is that 60% of people research in a store or online about the purchase that they're gonna make. So it's very important that we have all the information regarding the products, etc. They are also going to look for the item itself. That would be the 53%, or elsewhere find a new brand. However, it's important that we see that consumers are shopping on and offline in multiple stages at any given time. By that I mean that this past week, for example, and in average, we would account about 72% of people that either browsed or shopped. But if you can see on the graphs and you see by stage, you see like on our funnel, researching is one of the most important key topic. What happened is like we don't only research, but we also use Google for discovery. And by discovery, I would mean look for an item that you have seen elsewhere, discover or find a new brand, as well as discover or find a new item or product. Google would account in compare to the other categories for 53% in all those cases. And when it comes to research, as you can see on the central column, research a purchase I plan to make online, it's an item that we really value most of anything. So we need to make sure that we're including all product information, that the image of our products are very clear, and that we provide users with all the information possible. With that said, I think it's important to understand what are the categories that are most interested for Spanish people. We may think there are toys, we may think there are jewelry, or even like large home appliances. I don't know, but it's very different to Europe, where actually when we classify as currently like what we're doing right now, like the vast majority of people would be looking for food and groceries, clothing, outwear and footwear, houseware items, personal care and cosmetics, and fitness. So it would be like very casual or very like things that we do in a daily basis. So it's important that we value these categories.
That's correct.
Yeah, and which is kind of like interesting is that we're not that loyal and everything kind of like laugh when we come to this. But we basically, like for us, buying a familiar brand is like, buying a familiar brand, it's only important for 33% of the people. So we have like that rest of the market to actually impact. And actually, there's this high percentage, as we were mentioning, that would use Google on a 40% basis to research before buying something new, which is like interesting. It's also very important to see, and that's why it's very related to research, that we look for validation. So Google has become a place where we look for information, but we want to see reviews. So for us, like it's near the 50% of people that consider to study reviews in the past week in order to make purchases. it's true that also people look in the store, that will be around the 30%. So it's not like you go and you shop. You actually can't even compare prices online. So physically, it could be less important sometimes. And then we are, I don't want to say like in Spain, we're like lazy or something, but on 60% of the cases, we would confirm the inventory if we can before we go to the store. This depends. If you have like a physical store, this may be something important for you. If you don't, then just like for you to understand how Spanish people may be. And when we come to export, and we're now gonna reverse it into like how is import, how is the process, if we go a little bit like deep in terms of product. If you take these past 2 years in the sense of like from beginning of 2015 to 2016, here we're gonna see how is the entrance of a new product into a new country. So before we start like getting to be famous or well known in this country, what happened is like we're gonna have high non-brand CPC. We're not gonna be like very good in terms of CTR of our ads. And what is gonna happen is like the share of voice of the market, it's quite low because still they don't know us, right? But after a year of like working in putting our product there and being focused and trying to expand in this new market, you're gonna see that this share of voice is increasing. And with this, there's gonna be a lowering in the non-brand CPCs, and especially the CTR of non-brand keywords are gonna be better and better. So this is why it's important in terms of like expectations to understand like there's at least of a year adjustment process before going to Spain.
Timing is very important.
Yeah, timing is very important here. And then there is like something very cool when it comes to like Q4. So if you have like an idea to expand right now, you may consider that Black Friday is a process that is not only a day or like a week, it actually takes 3 weeks duration. And basically, of course, it's very important the 15 days before, but people every year start researching even before, like when are the offers coming, why are like what the advertisers are doing, if they're gonna have like any offer like they may be valuable. And what you can see here is like the research peak in between 2018 and 2017. So what you can see is like every time we're getting this phenomenon before, right? Since like 2018 would be the blue and 2017 the gray bar. And of course it's gonna be concentrated on the week prior with a 55%, but don't forget about the weeks before. With that said, I think it's important that we add very important elements to Spain here, right? We talk about the price, we talk about the free shipping, but there is other ideas that may be useful for you. We care about, I would say like the loyalty, even if I say we're unloyal, how can you make people more loyal in these terms? You can have a rewards program, and that's something that is better if it's automatically activated at checkout. We love to receive personal discounts, which means if you are like promoting X product and you are able to see that I'm interested but I still didn't buy it, try to offer me a discount, try to get me there, because it's important for like 52% of people. And also it's very cool, and it seems like it's not important sometimes, but having a wish list, or of course like this card, which is like normally like in some cases everyone has it, but when it comes to other businesses, it's important that we're able to love what we see, so we can have like a wish list. So in order, and to summary, in order to be successful in Spain, we need to make sure that we understand which categories are successful. So the difference to other with other countries, we would be more focused like on footwear, on groceries, on more like daily things rather than shopping for furniture or mobile devices or large home appliances, toys, and jewelry. It's important to understand like Google is a place for shopping, and it's very important, like it's not social media like Facebook and Instagram the kings in this sense. And then Google search is the absolutely leading place for research and discovery. Also important to understand like we still care about the physical places, but when we want something quickly, we're very able to go online even before we go to buy anywhere. And to conclude, as we said, we are very like we're less focused on buying familiar brands. So I think it's an opportunity to like include your brand into this market. So with this, I just want to say thank you for following us, for listening to us, and we would be very happy to answer your questions. But I just hope like you enjoyed. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much.